In today's weekend news roundup, Hotelier Ms. Maria Dawson has passed. Men accused of the 2016 murder of Dervern Snoopy Stanley found not guilty as prosecution fails to provide evidence. Des Moines Hodge leads Missouri Tigers to a 25-point victory. 5 USVI residents arrested for illegal entry into the British Virgin Islands. The captain has been charged for ammo found. BVI Health Services extends the stay of Cuban Health Professionals as staffing issues plague health sector and licensing board among developments to come with the new Liquor License Act. In addition, residents are urged to attend the Constitutional Review public meetings. We'll have a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Good job there, brother. All right. I'm surprised you're here.
I'm surprised you're still alive.
Charles, it's been 60 years.
I wish it was 60 more.
Let it go.
No, you know what you did.
It was just ice cream. But you know what? It was delicious.
What?
We're like a family get-together without all the family drama.
What you gonna do?
CG Insurance. Good like that.
Welcome everybody. It's Saturday, November 19th, 2022. A happy Saturday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. This is your weekly news roundup, bringing you the top stories of the past week. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast, popular BVI hotelier Ms. Maria Dawson has transitioned. The stalwart reportedly passed away on Thursday, November 17th, 2022 of this week. Dawson was known widely for establishing one of the very first hotels in Rowtown, Maria's by the Sea. The management and staff of 284 Media, BVI, CCT, and Cable TV extend condolences to the family and loved ones of Ms. Dawson. Local basketball sensation Des Moines Hodge continues to make strides on the international scene after leading his Missouri Tigers to a 25-point victory over SIU Edwardsville on Tuesday. Playing at the Mizzo Arena, Hodge collected a game-high 30 points with 11 of 19 shooting attempts from the floor to lead the Tigers to a 105-80 victory. He put up 17 points in the first half and completed 3 consecutive three-pointers within the first 6 minutes of the second half from different spots behind the arc. His game-high 30 points is a season best for a Missouri player and improved, of course, their winning record of 4-0 as the Tigers tallied their highest points total in a game for the first time in 12 years. The 105-30 victory also saw Missouri surpassing the 100-point mark for the first time in 2 seasons. On Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, under the ruling of Justice Thomas Astafan, KC, jurors in the High Court were instructed to enter a not guilty verdict for all 3 accused men, Dakeem Shetlan, aka Chemo, Ricardo Farrell, aka Scar, and Kareem Durant, aka Blacker, as he had recognized that the prosecution provided no evidence, circumstantial or otherwise, to link the 3 accused men collectively or individually to the murder of Stanley. Kareem Durant remains imprisoned on another matter. In a submission by the accused lawyers on November 14, 2022, attorneys argued that the Crown had failed to present sufficient evidence against the clients and that would render them guilty as accused, not guilty as accused. Attorneys of the men directed the court to a number of areas where the prosecution did not provide satisfactory evidence, which included the absence of forensic evidence, poor CCTV video, and of course, the main one being the origin of the blunt trauma injury Stanley received could not be identified. Prosecuting the case were Principal Crown Counsel Kelia Goss-Smith and Crown Counsel Christian Johnson. Stanley's decomposed body was found on July 28, 2016, 2 months after he went missing. More to come as the story develops. 5 United States Virgin Islands residents were arrested on Sunday evening for illegal entry into the British Virgin Islands, an operation that also led to the discovery of 10 rounds of ammunition. This was confirmed by the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force on Monday, November 14th, which said the vessel was detected by officers of the Joint Task Force after it failed to make clearance prior to entering the BVI. The 5 persons included 2 males and 3 females, of which 4 were later discharged after being taken into police custody. The 5th person, 29-year-old Haitian national and captain of the vessel, Patrick Feduras, was charged with unlawful possession of ammunition and fined for various immigration and customs breaches. Police said he will appear in the magistrate's court at the next available meeting. The British Virgin Islands Health Services Authority has entered into an agreement with the Cuban Health Authority in the interest of extending the deployment of health professionals to the territory to supplement the understaffed healthcare sector within the Virgin Islands. This is according to Minister for Health and Social Development, the Honorable Marlon A. Penn, who made the revelation before the House of Assembly.
The following steps are being undertaken by the BVI Health Services Authority to help address staffing shortages. The BVIHSA has entered into an agreement with the Cuban Health Authority for the extended deployment of a limited number of physicians, specialists, and nursing staff for the next year. New markets for nurse recruitment are actively being explored, including Ghana, and the Philippines, as nursing shortages are the most pressing concern at this time.
As he reflected on the situation at hand, Penn lamented that the already challenging task of keeping the health sector well-staffed has become an even more daunting task following the COVID-19 pandemic.
Securing adequate technical and professional staffing for the BVI Health Services Authority continues to present a challenge as we compete with the rest of the world to not only recruit, but also to retain well-trained and motivated staff. Several countries have resorted to offering significant inducement, including increases in compensation and benefits and immigration incentives, in order to recruit from the market that has shrunk considerably since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic.
In addition to the challenge of recruiting new staff, the issue of retaining skilled workers is also of great concern. To this end, Penn says the retention strategies are being considered.
Retention initiatives are being reviewed by the BVIHSA's board for all clinical and allied health staff to ensure that trained staff can be retained while operating within the budget limits. And staff training arrangements are being expanded in collaboration with HLSCC to provide ongoing professional development opportunities.
The government of the Virgin Islands is seeking to modernize the processes which guide liquor licenses in the territories through a bill entitled Liquor License Act 2019. The bill was brought before the House of Assembly for a second and third reading by Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley on November 15th. There, Wheatley reflected on the necessity of updating the existing legislation, which he noted was last amended in 1981.
Madam Speaker, the legislation governing the sale or manufacture of intoxicating liquor in the Virgin Islands has been in need of update for quite some time. And through the Liquor License Act 2019, it is hoped that this Honorable House will be able to modernize the statutory framework. This bill is a product of a considerable volume of work done over the past several years. Therefore, I know it will be a relief to many persons to see that their hard work has borne fruit in the form of a modernized legislative framework.
Wheatley said that given the age of the existing act, which was enacted in May of 1964, a special committee was appointed to review the act and make recommendations to Cabinet for changes to the act. On this committee sat an extensive list of local officials, including the Attorney General, Director of Public Prosecutions, Permanent Secretary of the Deputy Governor's Office, a representative from the Governor's Office, Financial Secretary, Commissioner of Inland Revenue, Chief Fire Officer, Chief Environmental Health Officer, the Chief Physical Health Planning Officer, Director of Trade and Consumer Affairs, and the BVI Chamber of Commerce and Hotel Association. The committee was formed in April of 2014, and submitted its report to the Cabinet in 2015. Wheatley noted that the Cabinet accepted the document and its recommendations and subsequently moved forward with discussions for a new act with the Attorney General's Office. Within this new act, viewers, he noted several major developments including the formation of a liquor licensing board.
Part 2 includes provisions that establish a licensing board that will manage and execute the process of issuing liquor licenses. Currently, as per Section 16, persons applying for a license are required to appear before the licensing magistrate on a licensing day, who grants the license if he or she considers that it should be granted.
The new act also calls for a change in the mechanisms currently used to conduct site inspections and seeks to replace the use of police officers with that of trained public officers.
Presently, inspection of premises for the liquor license process is done by police officers. The new proposal under Section 7 and 8 of Part 3 is for the minister to designate suitable public officers to act as inspectors for the purpose of inspecting premises where a notice of application is made for a liquor license or where liquor is sold. The idea, Madam Speaker, is to have a team of trained inspectors to conduct the inspections, guided by the requirements of the Act.
Residents are being urged to come out and participate in the ongoing public meetings which are being held by the Constitutional Review Commission. Premier Dr. The Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley made the plea during the virtual launch for the public meetings on Friday, November 11th. He stressed on the importance of having the presence of residents at the meetings, stating their feedback is critical to the development of the new Virgin Islands Constitution.
I want to urge all persons to ensure that they are included in the conversation and ensure that their views are heard, and to participate in a respectful manner. If you do not make use of this opportunity, it may be a very long time before another one presents itself. I know that the members of the Constitutional Review Commission and all our constitutional actors are fully aware that if a constitution does not reflect what the people want, then that contradicts everything a constitution is supposed to stand for, and it makes a mockery of the process. This is why I believe it is safe to say that the Constitutional Review Commission aims to ensure that the new constitution reflects the aspirations and the will of the Virgin Islands people, who are the persons, along with the future generations, who will be most directly impacted by the Constitution when it is written and put into effect.
Now, for those who may be hesitant to present suggestions orally, Premier Wheatley recommended for such persons to submit their point of views in a written format.
The Virgin Islands we want to create for the future, and the future we want for our people, depend on the Constitution we are about to create. But for the Commission to know what is in the hearts and minds of Virgin Islanders, we all have to come forward and tell them, whether in open meetings or in written submissions.
The Premier also touched on the terms of reference for the Constitutional Review Commission, namely the issues on self-determination and powers associated with the Governor.
Addressing the issue of political status requires us to assess, define, and articulate our vision and aspirations as a people. The Constitution, by establishing and strengthening institutions and defining, limiting, and regulating the powers and roles of the political actors, designs and equips the institutions for political development and advancement. Therefore, our new Constitution will be the vehicle for taking us wherever we as a collective society decide we want to go. And when we wish to get there, we have to make sure it is fit for purpose. The how, where, and when is also dependent on the role the UK will play in our governance and the powers that will be reserved for the governor. Recommendations A2, Roman numeral 3 and 4 of the Sir Gary Hickenbottom report also speak to these issues, and the House of Assembly have incorporated them into the terms of reference for the Constitutional Review Commission.
Viewers, that is it for today's weekly news roundup. Be sure, of course, to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, and of course, like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I will see you on Monday as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and of course, international content. I'm Ron Grant. You've been watching your 284 News weekly news roundup. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. Happy Saturday, everybody. Have a beautiful rest of the day and enjoyable weekend. Bye-bye.